man, a visionary, your job is to understand that game and be one step ahead.
Well, that's why I'm telling them that relationship, some relationships only last for a summer.
Yeah.
Some last for a year. The relationship ran its course. You know, in that relationship, I invested a lot of my social capital and actual capital. I spent somewhere between $5 to $10 million personally on Balenciaga. How much money do you think Balenciaga had paid me in the past 2 years? Just take a really wild guess. A really wild.
Less than that?
Just take a super wild one. Just go to the furthest extent of your imagination.
1.2 million.
Lower.
500,000.
Lower.
Zero.
Zero.
All right.
And actually, 2 weeks ago, I paid at a Saints account $862,000, not in clothes from me, from Balenciaga, from the store, in royalties to Balenciaga, where the deal had been engineered where I was coming out of my pocket. So last year I paid Demna $3 million to design the collection, right? And we got it out of the Gap marketing fund. And he was going to deliver 160 SKUs or 120 SKUs. 100 SKUs are separate items of clothing. Styles of clothing. So he ended up delivering about 60. I feel like we're on the people's court because we actually are, right? We're in the court of public opinion. So he delivered about 60. There were all kinds of people that were working. Part of the reason why I had to get Demna, I didn't want to I wanted to compete with him. I didn't want to have to get him. When I made Stronger, I did it to compete with Timberland and Justin Timberlake, because my fiance at that time liked Justin Timberlake just a little bit too much. So I made it to compete. And then we had the song out. It's #1 on Apple. It's blowing up. I play it in a club and it sounds muddy. It doesn't sound the way Sexy Back sounded in the club. So I go to Pharrell Williams to do the drums, and it sounds like a different record. I know it can't be a different record because I'm like, I'm going to swap it out on radio, right? Then I go to Swiss Beats. It sounds like a different record. I go to Timberland, the person who did Sexy Back, and he did it in 5 minutes and then spent the rest of the hour talking about how nobody could have done it except for him, running around the studio. I'm the best. No one could have. That's why he had to go to me. He had to go to the king.
Well, he had a point, right?
He had a point, right? So
what makes the song muddy? Is it the beat?
It was in the drums. It was something that Timberland had in those drums. Now, watch this. I said I'm going DEFCON 3, right? And I spelled it wrong. I have a tendency to do that. I'm not quite John Legend, tight sweater level, spelling bee level. So I feel a parallel to me going to Timberland to when I said, hey, you as an engineer, I need to work with you as an engineer that is Jewish to look at these contracts and what my people, not just Black people, let's say artists, are dealing with in our contracts. These contracts need to be fixed. Everyone could be so mad at the messenger, right? Yay, you said it the wrong way. You're offensive. You're like Hitler now because you said it. You said this out loud, but it does not, you weren't getting enough sleep. All this shit does not negate the fact that we do have Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah. But